I welcome one and all to the quiz. So we'll proceed on to the rules. So this rules is quiz consists of 15 simple questions based on India, and Zoom app has a feature of sending messages both publicly and privately. We want you to send the messages to your respective hosts only in the private chat, and if anyone sends the messages in public chat, they will get a negative mark. And if you don't understand the question, you can feel to ask me for the clues. So be frank to ask. So this is the first question. Which Indian state seal have been mentioned below? So this symbol is symbol is the government symbol of a particular state in India. So you have to mention the name of the state who uses this symbol for government purposes.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. Participants of 1 to 10, please message to Ashwanthias, not Ashwanthias post in bracket. That's it, Rakesh. Please proceed with it.
Yeah, please don't spit out the answers. You have to send the answers only in the private chat to your respective hosts. So please don't do that. So state seal.
Yeah, we just need the name of the Indian state, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
yeah.
There is no name of
ID the state. Participants, please mute your mic.
clue, bro. There is no name of Srivasan or our host.
Srivasan. Yeah, 1 minute.
Ashwant, please unlock the meeting. Srivasan is waiting outside, it seems.
Now, Srivasan is inside the meeting. Please answer to Srivasan.
Bro, any clues?
Yeah. Okay. Clues that it is in news for the past 2 years, and we see we read this state's news every day. That's the clue. So you can also interpret the symbol. It symbolizes state's nature or characteristics. You can also interpret. Yeah, we'll move on to the second question. Referred by Mahatma Gandhi as the evergreen city of India, the city is ranked as the best city in India for housing and transport by a survey conducted by India Today. The city was made the capital of Travancore in 1745 after shifting the capital from Padmanabhapuram in Kanyakumari district. So IDD, famous city. So this city it's a famous port city in south of India. Yeah. No clues. The city is situated in the south of India, and it has a significant importance in the harbor and ports of India. So IDD, famous city in south of India. And if anyone wants clues, you can ask me.
Clues, bro.
So ID, yeah, clues. So this city has famous beaches and backwaters like Kovalam, Kovar backwaters, and it also features the famous Agastya Mala. which is a UNO heritage site. So ID this city. So, yeah, we'll move on to the next question. So where could you find this logo? So this is a very easy question. This logo will be featured in every house. You will notice this logo in your day-to-day life, which we see daily in the morning. It's a very simple question. So ID this logo. So which company uses this logo? Yeah, it's a very simple question. Hope you have answered.
No
And
clue.
we'll move on to the fourth question. Minimalist. This is the minimalist poster of which Indian sports-based film? So basically, you can see a picture in which India and Australia play, and you can see the red and green dots, which symbolizes the penalty corner.
The question is 4, right? The question number shown on the slide is 3.
Yeah, the question number is 3.
We should say
Sai,
no
it is
votes,
typing
bro.
error. Rakesh, it is typing error. It is question number 4 only.
4.
Yeah, it's 4. Question number 4.
Yeah.
Yes, it is question number 4.
Okay. I'm sorry. So this film features a famous North Indian star, Bollywood star, and it is a cult film for the
Bro, we
sports
should
lovers.
share the film name, bro.
Yeah, I want the name of the film. So which film this poster is this? I want this famous name of the film. So ID this film, sports film. Hope you answered, and I will move on to the fifth question. So after completing his BTech, he used to work for Cognizant Technology and Solutions. He later revealed one of his major regrets was not being able to represent his school at ESPN School Quiz. Identify this personality who have performed extraordinarily in the SCG test. So he's a famous player, and he completed his BTech in Cognizant, his BTech, and worked in Cognizant Solutions. So I want the name of the player who have performed extraordinarily well in SCG test. So they want some clues. It's also quite
Bro,
easy.
close. No clues, objection.
Okay, I can't give clues. I can give you just a hint. It's not a revealer, and he was initially a fast bowler, but now his role is entirely different. He was initially a fast bowler and opening batsman for a state team. So identify this famous player. Yeah. We'll move on to the next question. Sixth question. So identify the food item. According to Mawali Tiffin Rooms, the supply of rice fell short during World War II. The staple food item in the region used rice as the primary ingredient. To overcome this problem, semolina was added to rice and the staple food item was made. Semolina is, of course, purified wheat middlings of durum wheat used in making pasta, breakfast cereals, puddings, and sauces. So, what did they end up inventing? And this famous food was invented in Karnataka, and due to the shortage of rice during World War II, they added semolina, a particular course of wheat, and they made a particular dish which was famous in South India. Till now, it is famous in South India, and you very well know this food. So, IDB food, IDB famous food, and I will give a clue. Normally, different rooms abbreviation is MTR, and MTR is a famous brand which makes a ready-made mix of this dish.
No clues, bro.
Yeah, so IDB famous food
Okay,
invented.
sorry to interrupt. Some of the participants entered the quiz for question number 2 and question number 3. So we shall have a quick recap for the first 5 questions alone.
Okay.
After finishing the quiz, we shall have.
Yeah, after finishing the quiz, participants, I will run through the questions once again. You can note down the questions. So currently I'm in 6th question and I will move forward to 7th question. Yeah, question number 7. What incident have been described here? So Mark Twain, a famous writer, described it is wonderful the power of a faith like that can make multitudes upon multitudes of the old and weak and the young and frail without hesitation or complaint upon such incredible journeys and endure the resultant miseries without repining. It is done in love or it is done in fear. I do not know which it is. No matter what the impulse is, the act born of it is beyond imagination, marvelous to a kind of people, the cold whites. So, Mark Twain is describing a famous event in India. So, what do these words describe? It describes that it is wonderful power of faith. It is
No
done
close
in love.
objection, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a famous event in India. Most of us would know this. And so it is also celebrated 12 years once. That is a small clue I can give. It's a 12-year once celebrated festival in India. So IDB, famous event or festival in India. Yeah, we'll move on to the 8th question. So what does the number plate of Indian president's car reads? So the blanked out is the number plate of Indian president's car. So what number do it contain? So ID the number which the Indian president's car reads.
Only the number is needed, required.
Yeah, I want just the number. I want just the number. So please think logically and answer. It's a tricky one. You can also get that. So ID number plate of president's car. Yeah, hope all you answered, and we'll move on to the 9th question. So the person in the picture in the next slide is Mahant Bharatdas, who resides in a small hamlet called Banaj in the middle of Dash Forest, Gujarat. For almost 2 decades, the Election Commission of India had been setting up a polling station at Banaj during every major election for Mahant to vote. An entire booth was set up for only one voter in that region. He has been also called as the lone voter of India. So fill in the blanks. I will show his picture. So he is Mahant. So the speciality of this booth is this booth has only one voter, and Indian Election Commission rule states that every voter of India should have a polling booth in the within the radius of 2 kilometers from their hometown. So he has a right to vote in that booth. So ID the place where he resides. The lone place in Gujarat. Actually, it is described as a forest, and most of us would know that. So ID the famous place in Gujarat. So anyone wants clues? It's an easy question. Most of us would know this.
No clues.
Yeah. So ID the famous place in Gujarat. Hope all have answered, and I will move on to the 10th question. So where could you find this? With the anti-gravitational effect, this is the only magnetic hill in India. Landmarked by a yellow notice board that spells out instructions and asks you to place your car on neutral gear right on the spot marked by white paint. This one will leave you in awe as your car will begin to move uphill on its own. So this is an interesting scientific place in India, and it has an anti-gravitational effect. That is, if you put your car on neutral gear, it will move uphill without any acceleration. So gravity will not act as common as other places in India. So ID the famous anti-gravitational effect place, magnetic hill actually.
Rakesh, we have the image the next slide.
Yeah, this is the image of the notice board and the place. So I want the name of the place where it is located in India. So ID the famous place in India. Where would you find these mountains? So this is the image. So ID the famous place. I want just the name of the place. And all done. We'll move on to the 11th question. So attracting over 40,000 devotees each day due to a 300-year-old legend, this village in Maharashtra features establishments without any doors and locks in their respective houses. Its residents sleep soundly as they believe Lord Shani to be a guardian of the town. So identify the name of the village. And this is a famous and interesting village in India where the houses will not have a door and lock, as they believe that Lord Shani is the savior of the village. They guard them and protect them. So ID the famous
No
village.
clues.
Yeah. This village has a specific god called Shani, and he has a famous temple. So ID the famous place. And note that it is a Stama question, and I can't give you a clue. And this is the picture of one of the houses in village where you can notice that there is no door and a lock. So this is the village, and I want the name of the village where the famous Shani temple is located. So we'll move on to the next question, 12th question. ID the state. The Karni Mata temple in Dash is home to thousands of rats whom pilgrims considered to be their ancestors and worship, making it one of the strangest attractions of India and also one of the most unknown facts about India as well. The Karni Mata temple is also called as the Temple of Rats. So fill in the blanks. So this is a famous rat temple as we know. I want the name of the state where it is located in India. The rats are considered as their ancestors and the devotees of the temple worship them as their ancestors. It's one of the strangest places in India. So IDB state where the rat temple is located in India. It is almost 30 kilometers from Bikaner. So it's an obvious one. So IDB state where the Karni Mata temple is located.
How many questions are there in the quiz total?
Yeah, totally 15 questions here. 15 questions.
15. Okay, thank you, bro.
Okay, we'll move on to the 13th question. So this is the Karni Mata temple. And the 13th question. So IDB state, the Vanderwaarley sea link, which is located in Dash, has enough steel wires which equals the Earth's circumference. This fact about India that many probably don't know, and each of the cables is capable of holding 900 tons of weight. The entire establishment's weight is equivalent to that of 50,000 African elephants. In which state could you find this? So the Bandra Worli sea link is located in a state, and actually I want the name of the city, not the state actually. I want the city in that state. So please answer the state, answer the city, not the state.
I had already
And-
given. Can I rewrite the answer and send once again send the answer to the host?
No problem, no problem. I want the name of the city and not the state. If you can mention the state, it's also obvious. So, in which city the Bandra Worli sea link, which is a very famous and it's a magnificent structure built in India. So, ID the place where it is located in India. So, this is the image of the Bandra Worli sea link. We'll move on to the next question. I hope all have answered. And 14th question. Identify this Indian woman. She started her film career by acting in director Navyut Chitrapat's Marathi movie Fahili Mangala Gaur in 1942. She is the recipient of the Bharat Ratna, Dadasaheb Phalke Award and Legion of Honor actually by France. She has sung not less than 10,000 songs in over 10 plus languages. So IDV, very famous Indian woman. So she is a very famous Indian woman, and she also has a Guinness World Record of singing most number of songs by any woman in the earth. So IDB, famous Indian woman who holds this record. So I can give you a clue, and clues that she has a sister named Asha Bhosle, who's also a very famous singer in her field. She also has a sister called Asha Bhosle, who is also a singer is also famous. So ID, the Indian woman. Okay. We'll move on to the last question, 15th question. Identify this South Indian food. So the root word from which the name of the dish is derived means boil water or spill water in Tamil or Telugu respectively. There are two major varieties of called chakra meaning sweet and ven meaning white, and the dish is eaten throughout the year even though it is a tradition of the major festival of the region. So ID, the famous Tamil food, which means that boil water or spill water, it has a root word, and it has two major varieties, chakra and ven. So it is a revealer, and it is an easy question. So ID, the famous South Indian dish. So the festival also revived the Tamil Nadu film industry. Is this? So ID, the famous food. I want the name of the South Indian food. And scorers, please note, and this is the final question, and any answers from here will not be counted. We'll want the answering session. I will give you 30 seconds. Once it is completed, I will
Excuse me, bro.
proceed
You
on.
told you will come from first. First five
Yeah.
questions.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I will have a quick recap of the questions. So, for the latecomers, I will have a quick recap of the questions from. Yeah. Recap. The question number 1: which Indian states seal have been mentioned below? So ID, the name of the state who has a seal, government seal. So it symbolizes particular state's nature. So ID, the famous state.
Jammu Kashmir.
So please don't spit out the answers. We want you to message the answers privately to your post. You will get a negative mark if you spit out the answers publicly. So question number 2: referred by Mahatma Gandhi as the evergreen city of India, the city is ranked as the best city in India for housing and transport by a survey conducted by India Today. The city was made the capital of Travancore in 1745 after shifting the capital from Padmanabhapuram in Kanyakumari district. So ID, the famous city in India, is located in south of India. It's famous for its ports and harbor. So ID, the famous city in south of India. And third question, we move on to the third question. ID, the logo of famous company. It's a day-to-day logo which we see daily. So it's an easy one. Number 3, ID, the logo. So we'll move on to this is actually the fourth question. So which sports-based film's minimalist poster is featured here? I want the name of the sports film in India. So this is the minimalist poster of the sports film. It features penalty corner results between India and Australia. So IDD sports film in India. So fifth question. We'll move on to the fifth question. After completing his BTech, he used to work for Cognizant Technology and Solutions. He later revealed one of his major regrets was not being able to represent his school at ESPN School Quiz. So identify this famous personality who have performed extraordinarily well in the SCG test. So ID the famous cricketer. Uh, he used he completed his BTech and worked for Cognizant Technology. So ID the famous Indian cricketer. So sixth question, ID the famous food. I'll move a little faster. So ID the famous food. So it is a food which is invented accidentally due to shortage of rice in Karnataka. So ID the food. So seventh question, what is the incident described by Mark Twain here? So he describes that it is wonderful power of faith and no matter the impulse is the act born of it's beyond imagination and whatever. So ID the famous 12-year once celebrated festival in India. And question number 8, ID the number in president's card, Indian president's card. So I want the numbers. And ninth question, and the lone voter of India, and I want the name of the place where he resides in Gujarat. This is the name Mahant, who is the lone voter of India. And 10th question, where could you find the anti-gravitational effect or magnetic hill in India? So this is the peak of that. And 11th question, I want the name of the village where the people in the village will not have any doors or locks in their respective houses. This is one of the houses in the village, and I want the name of the village who has a famous temple called Shani. And ID the state, the rat temple. I want the name of the state where the rat temple is present. So this is it. And I want the name of the city actually for this Bandra Worli Sea Link. So it is a famous and marvelous structure built by Indian engineers. I want the name of the city where it is located in India. And identify this famous Indian woman. She has sung not less than 10,000 songs in over 10 plus languages. And I want the name of this famous Indian woman who has this record. And the last question, the root word for this famous South Indian dishes, boil water or still water, has two major varieties, chakra and ven. And I want the famous South Indian dish mentioned here. So I had a quick recap. Hope the latecomers answered these. And I will move on to the answering session. So the answer for the first question is Jammu and Kashmir. The participants can also answer the questions. And the evergreen city of India referred to Gandhi. Yeah, as for Thiruvananthapuram, it was the capital of Travancore. And where could you find this?
The Hindu.
Yeah, the Hindu, it's an obvious one. And
India.
India.
Yeah, Chakde, India is the answer. The cult film and
Ashwin.
yeah.
Ravichandran Ashwin.
Bro, it's Ravindra.
Ravichandran Ashwin, yeah. And the next question is
Gulab Jamun. Rava idli.
Rava Idli. And what is the
Kumbh
instrument?
Mela. Kumbh Mela.
Yeah, Kumbh Mela. Kumbh Mela is the answer I'm looking for. And
One.
No number plate. No number plate.
yeah, no number. It doesn't have any number. Yeah, the 4 lines. And
Gir faster. Gir fast.
yeah. The lone voter of India resides in Gir Forest, the famous wildlife sanctuary. And where is the
Ladakh.
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 Ladakh is the answer I'm looking for. And name the village.
Shani Singapore.
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 Actually, it is Shani
Shani
Shignapur.
Singapore.
Shignapur. Yeah. Spelling doesn't count. No problem. It is Shani Shignapur in India. And 12th
Rajasthan.
Rajasthan.
Deshnok.
Yeah, it is in Rajasthan. I just want the name of the
Deshnok.
state.
Oh,
Rajasthan.
Mumbai.
Yeah, Maharashtra or Mumbai. I want the name of city. It is Mumbai.
Asked in IPL quiz also.
And identify this Indian woman. What is the record of singing more than
Lata
10,000
Mangeshkar.
songs?
Lata Mangeshkar.
It is Lata Mangeshkar. Yeah. And the last question, ID the famous
Pongal.
song.
Paniyaram.
Pongal. There's two major varieties, Sakara Pongal and Ven Pongal. So we are coming to the end of the quiz, and thank you one and all for participating in this quiz. And I thank each and every one of Dr. Quizzing team. So I thank every mods and scorers for making this quiz happen. And thank you. The results will be announced in 15 minutes.